Hi, welcome to this video, a release video. So it's not really an educational video, although you probably should watch these videos, all these releases. So start here, we have releases 2021, and this is the last release for 2021. And every single time we tell you what changed to your operating system. So on every release, we tell you ArcoLinux did this, did that. In this case, we discovered a diamond in the rough left WM, and we started theming it. So we want to communicate with you what changed with your operating system, what's new, what's more possible, why we changed something, because we want to be transparent and educational at the same time. Right? Like we call it ArcoLinux University, but you don't get a diploma. But it's really is educational. Just read a text this morning from a patron saying, "This is great. I left Mac alone and I went away and I've learned so much." And that's what we are here to do, right? Learn you. And there is so many information available already. And we're at 2,300 YouTube videos. So we keep on adding more and more knowledge to the university, so to speak. And that's why we're here. That's the ArcoLinux mission. There are two videos at every release. That's how to stay rolling, because there is a clean install, which is great because you mess things up and it's getting dirty, and you can do a clean install. It applies for Windows, for Mac, and for Linux. The best advice ever for any operating system. Do a clean install. But on the other hand, we do want you to stay rolling, because hey, that's the fun, right? Learn, why is this not working? What do I need to do? What do need I say to Pac-Man to overcome an issue or something like that? That's why we're here, right? To solve sometimes these conundrums or challenges. So that's the stay rolling video, and that's already out there. It's at the bottom of this article. So two videos are in here. How to stay rolling and what changed since last time. Last time for us is September. Okay, that said, you may have noticed I fell in love with left WM. Last videos I've made were probably always in left WM, as is this one, right? So this is the ISO builder, and the ISO builder is where we create all your packages. If you do a Ctrl-Alt-T and you do an update, the packages that we create for you are here. But basically they're our own, and basically these guys are from the AUR, Arch User Repository. These are not packages, these are recipes how to build a package build. So that's what we do for you every single morning. So you can do a sudo pacman -s Spotify. Boom, it's installed. So that said, why was I drawn to my AOR packages? We discovered left WM. It's a tiling window manager, and yes, it's also coming from the AOR. Yes, we've made a package for it, but not only that, a configuration and 16 themes, and they'll match the other themes. So if we have a LT-upd, for example, which is a alias, so left theme update, we have 16 from community, not from us. Might work, might not work, but these 16 do work. So we have 32 themes. So that's a great kind of number, right? Now we have created our own themes, our own polybar, and then themes on it with our own code, since polybar is well known on our tiling window managers, right? And also the code of 80, or I'm just saying 80 in short because we're at 1090x, or otherwise I should read the Aditya, but probably gonna say it wrong, so 80. So these guys, some of them are in here, and I've not included all of them. So that's the educational bit that is always in my mind. If you see things here that you say, I like this, why didn't Eric do that? That's the point. You do it, right? You see what I've done, you can compare with Melt, and you can say, I'm gonna try this, I wanna have this. So you're triggered, you're motivated, and that's what we want. We want to well, give you the feel of the same passion or the vibe pass it through via our videos, so you go and explore. So we've created some of the themes of AD, and you can just click it and it's installed and you can enjoy it, but some of them we have not. So up to you to figure out how everything works. In this video you'll find out the other guys that are missing here, 8 themes. So 16 themes, and here are what we do to teach, right? To theme left WM, because that's the fun. That really is a fun. It can be addictive, so watch out. You start dreaming about it. Such is an addiction, right? And we've created some aliases. So this was a little bit too long at some point in time, and that's when it kicks in. That's when you feel the need of an alias. I say, oh my god. Or when it gets too complex to type, then you also say alias. So teaching is always on my mind. Type alias and go read, guys. See what's in here. Don't need to know everything at this particular moment, but see what's in there. Just read, and then maybe afterwards you'll remember, oh yeah, there was something inside that particular alias or bash rc. That's where everything is, the dot bash rc. It's hidden. Then another discovery, actually, Dusk is actually a fork, or a vision of a user called Beckaby, and Beckaby has put in tremendous amount of work, and he must have knowledge that far exceeds my own, like, right? This can do a bit of better layout, but the product that has been developed here over the years, I mean, probably, let's have a look how many commits, right? Already 23 days ago, but he started with something else, I believe. So going and have a look when he started, that is not relevant, because he started with something else and then renamed it and went ahead with Dusk. Anyway, the point is, this is a DWM, which is awesome. Voila, and you can have a look at it. Now, at the point of when I was introduced actually with Dusk by an ex-core mapper, so thank you, we thought it's only one file. DWM is a specific kind of tiling window manager, very specific indeed, and we only need one file, one package. So it's actually easier to put it in the ArcoLinux tweak tool, Dusk install, boom, you got it. But since we're quite educational by nature, right? We've also explained you how to build an ArcoLinux B Dusk. With the idea, if you see what I'm doing, you can build an ArcoLinux B XXX. I don't know what you'll find on the internet, right? But something else. And build your own ISO with it, because that's basically what we do. What's not that difficult, that's building ISOs, and it's all explained here. ArcoLinux B stands for building. So ArcoLinux Dusk Git is the only package that has a complete desktop. How can you imagine it? Windows. We get a file, and it contains, it's a super small file, and it contains a complete desktop. Well, I'm making it white black, but right, I'm allowed to. I'm a teacher. As we created one for our personal use, that's a surprise. We were thinking of never going to, give you the ArcoLinux B Dusk, because it's actually an educational project on ArcoLinux B. But here it is, the Halloween treat of 2021. ArcoLinux B Dusk is there. There's an ISO, burn it on the USB, install it, have fun with it. Or just click here, Dusk install. And with the treasure, you can uninstall it again. All right, enough said, have a look at it. If you're a beginner in Linux, I wouldn't recommend it straight away. But if you're already comfortable with tiling window managers, then sure, go ahead. At some point in time, I got in contact with a user on Discord, I believe, doesn't matter where, Telegram, Discord, Facebook. And then we're talking about Xenmod kernel. Now, I had already made some videos about the Xenmod kernel on YouTube, but well, why not visit it again? So the Xenmod Edge kernel, the way it has progressed or moved or changed in over time, right, is I was surprised how flexible the package build of the Xenmod Edge kernel is. So this is an AOR package, right? It's your kernel, your Linux kernel, Linux LTS, Linux Zen, Linux Hardened. Those are the 4 official guys. If you want to see it, sudo pacman -s Linux. Tab, stop. That's the Linux kernel, Linux Hardened kernel, Linux LTS kernel, Linux Zen kernel. That's officially given by ArcoLinux, right? Not us, ArcoLinux. And if you do a yay or paru, a Linux kernel may be best. Everything is called Linux, right, on Linux? So you go up and you'll find some others, right? Linux mainline headers here, Linux mainline. And as such, there's lots of kernels, people having ideas, visions. A kernel should be like this, a kernel should be like that. Linux next kernel. So there's lots of other stuff you can build, right? This is AOR. It's not sudo pacman -s, it's yay or paru number 91. And then you install it. Okay. So that's how it works. I've learned something more, that's always fun, right? It's a kernel you need to build. There is a particular application involved that looks at your system, says, this user needs this and this and this and that in its kernel, so I'll get rid of all the rest and just stick with the modules or the parts that the hardware needs. I'm on an Intel CPU. Why do I need an AMD code in my kernel? That's not required. I'm not gonna pull out my Intel and plug in an AMD CPU ever. So that's the idea, right? So you build the package required for your system, which results in a very, very small kernel and still have all the functionality. So that was fun. And after gathering all the knowledge, what you do, well, yeah, if you break it, you fix it. I did try it with a Linux kernel as well. So that's always cool, having a black screen. And maybe I should mention that. Let's see if it works. YouTube, ArcoLinux playlist actually, but black screen. Every single time I have had a black screen, I've written in the text black screen. So when you look for it, you get lots of hits. So people often try out, and that's Linux, right? You try out things and then you break things. If you break it, you make it. But that's an English and Dutch translation to English. So if you break it, you fix it, isn't a proper English thing. Here is the playlist, ArcoLinux black screen. So add the word playlist to the line, and we have now 14 videos already just documenting what happens or why things happened and how to fix them. We started way back. I see here at 691 is the first one. All right, so if you break it, you fix it. The knowledge, creating scripts and such, with many videos about that. So if you have the knowledge how to do project X, you put it in a file so you can rerun that script later on. So I figured out how to do the Xenmod kernel, and then you document it for later, because yeah, after I'm too lazy, I just stick with the Linux kernel from ArcoLinux. But what if at some point in time I want to test it out again, right? I'll just run a script, and that's explained in these guys. So it's a fun project for sure. It's not for a working computer. Always best to have a system that you work daily on, another one that you just mess with it. That's the ideal way, and otherwise you'll mess with things in a virtual box, right? Then nothing can go wrong in a virtual box. 15 minutes later, you have a new installation again. As you know, we have adopted the ArcoLinux Candy Beauty icons and made them our own. It's at least 3 days of work more on these icons than the official icons, right? So we had to add more icons and create more icons and create more links for our ecosystem, ArcoLinux 25 desktops. And to have a little bit of, well, a theme, a wallpaper that goes with it, we've created ArcoLinux Wallpapers Candy. So it's all kind of flowing together, the wallpapers and the icons. Theming is important, as you see. Well, yeah, we have been theming a lot, Surfy and I. ArcoLinux Tweak Tool, that's what it stands for. ATT is actually something you can run. ATT, right? It asks your password and we are an ArcoLinux Tweak Tool. Sometimes we ask you to do that to see if there are any messages, if it doesn't boot for updates, right? Then we say, just started with the, yeah, always started with the terminal. Then maybe if the programmer is smart, it'll give some log files or some text so you know what's going on. You can now install FWM. Okay, ATT, done, done, done. And we can trash it again. Super. Bye-bye again. Explained in this video. We have some terminal fun. It was rather difficult to get this going. It's actually super stupid if you think about it, but it's basically telling you nano bash rc. Actually, I don't type any of this. It's very long, right? NB, and then you go to the bottom, and all you need the tool needs to do is add something here or delete something there, and that's it. That's all it needs to do. But it's so complex, right? I'm gonna go for UFitch this time. If it's installed. Yeah. Sudo pacman. Well, the ATT does that automatically for you. It will install it for you. UFetch Arco Git, and there's another one, the official one. I'll get them both in. Now you got this. Voila. So lolcat is something else. It colors the output, basically whatever output it is. It gives a nice rainbow color, which is fine again with this new candy theme. Then the tweak tool privacy, we have an unblock and an hblock. So you can enable hblock, etc. Click and it's enabled. But there is also a unblock alias as well to say, okay, stop using this again, because maybe there is a place you want to go to on the internet and hblock blocks you, right? Because it wants to keep you safe. Sometimes you just want to shut down hblock for a few minutes and be back in control. So an un-hblock, unblock, un-hblock and hblock will activate it again. Just a small idea. ArcoLinux Tweak Tool, we have now two new repos. We have the ARNet in Australia, and we've put also our stuff packages on North America. So basically this is about trying to keep the volume of the downloads as low as possible on the seed host repo, because it's paid, and with everything comes with every choice comes a price and comes a finite amount of download, right? At some point in time it's a monthly reset of downloads. At some point it's out of bandwidth. So click this off, please, and try one of the other guys, because this is free. What you download here doesn't cost us anything. Neither does Belnet, neither does ARNet. So ARNet, if you're living near Australia, maybe best thing to do. Living in United States, maybe go for the GitLab, and the guys in Europe go for Belnet. Would be my best approach. Some video about it. the mirrors. Oh, the title is not correct. I see what I've done. I've done a copy paste. Now we just made sure that the files that you have here, the config ADT and config ADT, can be deleted. It was a matter of permissions. So the title should read remove the backup files. I'll change that later. Well, we're also a little bit creative. We should not forget i3 themes. i3m is there as well. It's a beautiful way of working, has been stable for 6 years, right? How about that? Not an issue with it. So there's another theme, no clue. Okay, I was just creating the theme and I said no clue what to call it. Voila, no clue it became. It's fun, it's creative. Again, an educational video how to create a theme for i3. Then some general changes. We are now on Calamares 3.2.44.3 is used in this version. You can have more information here if you want. And then we had some what ifs lately. What if removing everything but the essential ArcoLinux packages? This is dangerous. Experiment just before you do a clean install. That's the best moment to experiment, right? If you decided already in your mind, I'm gonna try again because I messed it up. The code is, I don't get it anymore. I want to try again with a clean slate. That's something maybe you can try out. And all the information actually comes from Pacman, right? It's not from me. I just apply the knowledge shared on the wiki. Often we tell to you, go read the wiki, and that's not a foul intention or lazy from our part. It is part of working with ArcoLinux. It's just, it contains it all, right? The Arch Wiki is the reason why I am here and not on Ubuntu. It contains so much information, and sometimes it doesn't contain any information, right? Or the information is too complex. So this couldn't help me. Left up them, this doesn't help me one bit. So sometimes it contains a lot of information and sometimes barely. But it is what it is. And if you have problems with Bluetooth, it's super simple. You just type Bluetooth. And you go read what's going on. What do I need? Are the packages there? Is there something else? How can I debug it? At the bottom is always a very interesting thing. If we go all the way to the bottom, sometimes there is this help thing or debug thing. Often they do that. Let's see at the structure. Troubleshooting, they call it, right? Number 6, troubleshooting. See if this can help you. Okay, so Pacman and the wiki are important and we do rely on them, so you should too. What if creation of a bare ArcoLinux B plasma? I had this what if. You can build our ISOs. At any point in time, you can decide to build the ISO off, and you click. You can decide to build the ISO ArcoLinux XS LTS right now. You can decide to build any of these guys. And if you have done a few of them, you realize it's exactly the same thing over and over. Why is Eric creating all these articles? It's just the same thing over and over. And it is. But people think in boxes, right? And there are no boxes. It's always a GitHub, a place, ArcoMate, ArcoXFCE, ArcoLeft WM, and then you change or do not change anything, run script 40, done. You've got an ISO. But sometimes we have these tutorials, we have these ideas, how to create a bare ArcoLinux B plasma, how to add more packages to any ArcoLinux B ISO, and so on. There is so much information in here to create your personal ISO, because no ISO is good. Any ISO, not only ArcoLinux, generally Linux, none of the ISOs are good for all the millions of people. Here we give you the power to build your own. So watching some videos makes you aware that it's all about choices all the time. what theme, what icon, what wallpaper. Sometimes people say, this is a beautiful distro because it has a beautiful wallpaper. Bad choice, right? That's not the point. That's not why a distro should be good, because the wallpaper is good. You change these things. Packages, aka Lego blocks. I always talk about that. You build it up. It's playing like with Lego. Choosing from a reserve of packages. So ArcoLinux, so AOR, and then you build it up. And you get a different look, a different feel. And for the user, a different start. Maybe wants to remove things, maybe wants to add things. So that's explained there. Now, if it was Halloween time, right? And at some point in time, I created a theme. Well, Halloween-ish, right? So maybe I still have a picture of it. No, no picture. Halloween-ish. And I wanted to test out our icons. ArcoLinux has my icons, right? The Sardi icons and the Surfer icons. Now the icons are not PNGs, because a PNG can't be changed. These are SVGs, and SVGs can be changed. It's pure text. What if, at some point in time, I got that idea 5-6 years ago, what if I create a script that changes these colors? So that's what we've done, shown you how to create a different kind of icon theme with different kind of colors, matching the theme of LeftWM. So here is the picture of the Halloweenish kind of look, and it always changes, right? In the beginning everything was blue, and then later on I made this a bit yellow, and a bit yellow, and a bit yellow. That's the fun, that's the theming. It never stays the same. Then the YouTube downloader. Thanks to a tip on Discord, people said this package is super fast in downloading. Why don't you use that one? We tested it out and we agree. Thank you for the tip. This is way better. So what are we talking about? There is an alias. There we go again. Here are the aliases. We've cleaned out a few of them and kept another part of them, right? So AAC, best flag, MP3, and the video. So it's all YouTube DLP, and then you can download the link. Well, you copy paste the link afterwards of YouTube, and it either extracts the video and the audio, or it just gets the audio, and that's with a new application basically. Where were we? Voila. RAM basically changed name. I think it was RAID Arch Mirrors. For us, nothing changes. RAM is RAM. It's just a alias. And the alias, what's behind the alias, can change hundreds of times. But RAM stays RAM. So RAID Arch Mirrors, that's what it stands for. The A is a little bit gone here. So RAID Arch Mirrors was a previous name of the application, so the developer just changed its name, and voila, we just keep RAM for us. Voila, RAM. Yeah, if you haven't heard what it is, it's actually going to have a look at all the servers around you, gonna sort them, jump all kinds of things. You can look at the website of the developer, and basically you get a list of the fastest servers around. Yes, we have an alias for that. And here we have still the traditional one, the standard one, because these are the major websites, the major servers. Osbeck, EvoWise, Rackspace. These guys are probably paid for, right? Worldwide. And the other guys are mirrors. Mirror from here, mirror from there, and so on. So if you run RAM, this is gonna be overwritten, and it will have a new list telling you where the ArcoLinux packages are coming from. These are ArcoLinux stuff. This Narco, remember it with the name Narco, right? You know what I mean. That's ours, right? Either get it from zhost, and that's exactly the same order as we have in ATT. So if you say in the ATT don't get it from seed host, then this happens. So you'll get the packages from GitLab. And if GitLab does not have the packages, he'll get it from Belnet. And if Belnet doesn't have the packages, it gets from RNet. And this is our fallback. You can't click on this unless you do it manually here, not in ATT. Okay, so that's explaining everything a little bit. I am in an educational mood today. What we're gonna do is, of course, make more tutorials about LeftWM. So where do tutorials go to? They go to ArcoLinux. If it's all, oops, I forgot to put that off. That's off and that's off. Voila. So where do these tutorials go? ArcoLinux has general Linux stuff, BIOS, how to install, must read, now what, general kernel stuff, logout, general anything kind of thing. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Plasma or if it's Mate. This is not related to a desktop. But if you go to ArcoLinux D, then that is related to a desktop. Phase, XFCE, Budgie, Phase 3. Go check out the learning path that we have set out for you guys. Phase 4, Phase 5, Phase 6, Phase 7. And at some point in time, you graduate from the ArcoLinux University and you create your own distribution, for example. Or just stick around and Google or serve a little bit. It doesn't matter. So it's here that I need to add some more work. So LeftWM, there you go. We have already 5 tutorials. And if there's something new or a question, that's how it works in ArcoLinux, right? Ask the question and then we'll make a video. Simple as that. That's why we went into the Xenmod kernel. Ask a question and suddenly there's a whole tutorial. All right, what's new? That's this video. I'm gonna copy paste the URL in here, and how to stay rolling, so how to update things is in here, and the rest is general information. I'm at the end of the video, also almost at the end of the year. So 2021, this is the last release for 2021, and the next one will be in mid-January. All right, enjoy ArcoLinux, have fun, and enjoy.